Can you hear the music?
Oh, yeah.
I can't even hear that music.
That's so weird.
Thumbs up on my computer. Hope this is working, everybody. Oh, man. I'll turn it off now, I guess. Turn the music down low, even though I cannot hear it at all.
It's gone now, so you did a good job there.
Yeah, I'm the deaf DJ. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Positive on the Wrestling Show. It is yours truly, Jimmy Pepe, and I'm joined, as always, by Albert to the right of me. Albert, how the heck have you been? And more importantly, before we get into the tirade, how did we enjoy Raw on Netflix?
I loved it. Absolutely enjoyed it. Had a blast watching it. Watched half of it with my fiance before she fell asleep. So that's always fun. And even she was into tribal combat. Very big pop when The Rock started off the show. So, yeah. If you expected anything different than what we got, you're crazy. It's the debut show on a new brand, on a new network. They're going to, want to engage as many people as they possibly can. And I think they did a great job with that. Good mix of legends in with new talent, 4 really, really good matches and a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah, that's exactly what I pointed out. It was like, hey, this is like a reset for them. And I think they did a really good job of there's people that were going to be tuning in for the first time in a while because of the ease of access. It's on Netflix. Oh, I'll check it out now. Oh, there's The Rock. I remember The Rock. I remember John Cena. Undertaker. Oh, and then they only highlighted their big stars in the matches, so that gave them a good taste of like what the new brand is, and like maybe they liked what they saw there. It was a great blend. I do understand the, I guess, mild complaints about it feeling long because I did feel like it was long. But I understand that sometimes these episodes need to happen for them to move forward and progress. And it's a reset, right time of year. So
I think it felt long because we're used to Raw being 2 hours for the past couple of weeks.
That's another. That might be another thing too. I didn't even put that into consideration. But yeah, I never minded it being 3 hours.
No, I liked it.
I was like, oh man, it is kind of dragging a little bit. But again, it's been like 3 months since it's been 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been used to that. So. Yeah, I overall, again, I thought it was a good show. I understood what it was too. I wasn't being one of those. It wasn't made for me, so I'm going to throw a fit.
Oh boy, do I have some fun about that?
I'm gonna get you there in a second. So,
yep,
this isn't the problem. Mine is apparently the kid did something to my headphones. So we're gonna have to deal with that later. I believe in that. No, I'm just joking. Hey, yo, I'm the king again. What's up, Harry? Thank you for joining. As always, Raw had the best return of the year already. Yeah, we hadn't seen Dominic Mysterio since last year, and he returned on Raw. It was beautiful. I loved it. I couldn't say it. You took the words right out of my mouth, Harry. I agree. But tonight's show is the lists. We are doing the John Cena reunion tour wish list, 5 things that we want to see from John Cena this year during his return. But in the fun of Raw on Netflix coming out this week, Albert said he had some things to get off his chest. So with that said, I'm going to give him the floor. I'm going to cut him off 5. If he goes over 5, I'm cutting him off. We're not going to go too crazy here, but I'm going to let him go ahead for 5 minutes and address some of the nonsense that we've seen. And I'll probably add a little bit on at the end because I did see something that kind of was like, come on, y'all. Don't be stupid. But...
All right. I don't even know if I'm going to even take 5 minutes. I'm going to try to be very civil about this too.
Civil.
So there's 2 things that were really, to me, were main takeaways. The first one, and I just want to get this out of the way because there were 4 matches. I understand that people were upset that there were 4 matches, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the 4 matches that we saw were basically like super matches. I mean, these are big, giant feuds that are being culminated on this first brand new episode of Raw on this new network.
2 of those were allegedly rumored to be like WrestleMania main event kind of matches too. So pump your brakes, people.
Exactly. So, I mean, every match had a story. Every match featured a major star. We got a brand new champion in Rhea Ripley. But one of the things that I saw people complaining about was, oh, it's fine when WWE has these matches and does a bunch of like kick out of finishers and false finishes, but when AEW does it, it's it's the worst thing in the world. Here's the thing that you guys need to understand. The WWE and AEW are two separate companies. Their wrestling styles are completely different. Yes, there are going to be things that you see in AEW that fans will complain about, and then when they see it on WWE TV, they'll let it go. The difference is that doesn't happen every week in WWE. We don't see people kicking out of finishers every week in WWE. We don't see people, having 17 false finishes in WWE every week. There isn't these big, giant car crash matches where people are flying all over the place every week. So when they do happen in WWE, we're like, whoa, look at that. That was cool, because everything in moderation is great. When you overexpose things too much, this is where you get people coming out and making these outlandish statements like, it's not okay in AEW, but it's okay in WWE. No, it's not okay for things to be like blood. We saw it in Hell in a Cell. Blood made that feud between Drew and Punk so much better at Bad Blood, because we don't ever see that in WWE. But when we see Mox bleeding every week, and then he's in a big match against somebody on pay-per-view and he's bleeding again, it's like, well, we saw this every week, so what difference does this make?
Yeah,
that's the big takeaway. My other thing, and I think this is the main thing. Jimmy and I spoke about this right before we got on the air, and I touched on this right when we started. This show wasn't for us. It wasn't for hardcore wrestling fans. It wasn't for people who watch every week. It wasn't for people who have been tuning in to Raw religiously. It isn't even for wrestling fans who know enough about Raw that they can put it together. It's for people who are going to be on Netflix, go, whoa, wrestling's live? I got nothing to watch. Let me turn this on. The idea is to have major stars be there, because people will sit there and go, exactly what Jimmy said earlier. I remember The Rock. I remember John Cena.
Yeah.
The Undertaker's here? Is that one of the Bella twins? Is that, this guy? Is that guy? Like, that's what you want. And then, CM Punk's wrestling. That's crazy. This Jey,
what?
Right? This Jey Uso guy's entrance is crazy. What is this all about? Look at it. Yeah, they highlighted every major star they possibly could. You bring out Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley right after the big, that big open with Triple H and The Rock was not a mistake. Those are your two biggest female stars in the company pretty much right now, at least on that brand.
Roman and Solo came out after them.
I'm sorry, Roman and Solo. You're right. Tribal Combat was first. And then after that, so the next big match after that is the Women's Championship match. It's like they're showing you who their stars are. Roman Reigns is there, is this huge star. He's The Rock's cousin. He's got this whole family thing going on. Rhea Ripley looks like an absolute, star no matter what you do. Liv Morgan is, pops off the screen at people. You're highlighting all of your big stars, even if they're not the stars that I like. It's the ones that the company, wants to, put out in the forefront. And I think that's the big thing that people don't understand. In 2 weeks' time, we won't see all of this anymore. It's going to go back to being a regular 3-hour Raw.
I think we see that this week, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's going to be. Look, it'll at least be better this week. I think maybe they might have one or two kind of things just to kind of keep people invested, just to be like, if you missed the premiere, let's throw some things on there to get in there.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, we're going to be back to normal.
Yeah.
But people react to this stuff like it's the worst thing we've ever seen, when there's reasons why they do this. And if you walked in there expecting a normal WWE show, or in any case, if you walked in there expecting to see 3 hours of WWE and expected 2 hours and, 40 minutes of that to be actual in-ring wrestling, you're watching the wrong company.
Yeah.
There's another company that does that. It's called AEW. They feature wrestling almost the entire time. If you like that, go watch that. If you don't like that, why are you watching Raw?
To me, this was like a Super Bowl. And
yes.
If you watch the Super Bowl, what do we watch the Super Bowl for? I know there's a football game going on, but why is it the most watched thing in the country?
It's the Super Bowl halftime show. It's the commercials.
You have the massive halftime show. You have all the brand new commercials, which are like, what? Video packages? What? That's crazy. It's a spectacle, and that is what WWE has become. And I think some people have a hard time wrapping their head around that. Like, how could this be so big and so popular? Blah, blah, blah. I don't like it. Well, you're one of those artsy-fartsy critics who are like, well, I like the thing nobody likes, so I'm smart. Shut the fuck up. You got to get over that. That's
Right.
that's something that's like kind of dawned on me. Is like that's what they sound like when they're dogging on WWE. You don't have to like. I'm not saying you have to like it. It's not for you. Cool, whatever. When you come out and you're like, it sucks. It's not the worst. It is the best. That's not saying that what the other thing isn't. It's not saying the other one isn't good. But popular opinion tells you what the best in the world is. That's how it works. The best movie of the weekend is the one that made the most money. The best TV show is the one that gets the best ratings. Why is Seinfeld the greatest TV show of all time? Because it had a finale, and the ratings were great throughout the entire show, and it had a finale that nobody's ever touched since. That's why it's regarded that way. So
and look, one of the things I hate the most is because this builds right up to what you said. The whole WWE is like McDonald's. Is that the way? And like AEW is like a 5-star Michelin restaurant. No. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard because because that comparison doesn't make sense whatsoever. Because mom and pop restaurants, just because you're lower on the scale, doesn't mean you're better. It just means you're not as popular.
I'll say this real quick. I don't want to spend too much more time on it, but yeah. I actually did the math on this before because Five Guys and McDonald's was the big comparison between the two.
Okay.
And I did the math on this. And if you were to say there's one McDonald's and there's one Five Guys, Five Guys makes more money. Yeah. McDonald's only makes more money because there's more of them. But if you're breaking it down, you have WWE, which is Five Guys, because it makes more money. It has more content and juicy and flavor in this. And McDonald's is this. This is the flavor. And again, I am not saying that just because this one is better, this one sucks. It's really good for that cup of tea. This is just a different cup of tea that more people prefer. So when we say it's better, that's the reason. But I want to move away from that.
real quick, I think a better comparison though is it's like the difference of seeing an action film and a Marvel film. Some people love all action films and they love everything about everything, but some people just like Marvel. And I feel that's what it is. WWE's like Marvel. It's like superheroes and all this crazy stuff, and then there's like the action flick purists who like old school, no magic, no nothing, just
Schwarzenegger.
Right, or Die Hard. You know what I mean? Like one guy versus everybody, and has to survive, like without any powers. I feel like that's where we're at. And just because you have grown up on action films doesn't mean that the Marvel films suck because they're making more money. It just means that that's what's more popular.
Yeah, and just because you were watching action films before Marvel films came along doesn't mean you're a film critic that knows more than everybody else. You're just a person who has a preference. And I love that reference because if you really think about it, there's a lot of people who are like, I'm tired of Marvel movies, I'm tired of this. Well, guess what? They still continue to do things that other movies cannot do. So you're wrong. You don't like it, that's fine. But to say they needed to stop, no, you're wrong. The second biggest movie of the year last year, I'm pretty sure, was Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm 99.9% sure you're right.
I won't say it's number one because I think Wicked probably overtook it. That movie was a monster. But Deadpool and Wolverine, I think, was the second biggest movie of the year. Which is
if not, it's top 3 or top 5. You know what I mean? So
action film that wasn't a comic book movie that came close. You can't. I'm sorry. Harry says now he wants Five Guys. Hey,
so do I.
Go get some. Go get some. A pop wing. Hey, me.
Yes.
Wow. I loved it. I loved the entire the match itself was like really kind of slow. Kind of went with the theme of the show, honestly. But it wasn't a bad match. It was just slow. It was the typical Roman slow build match, and then the ending was chaos, which I love chaos, and it was
Same.
It was the most brilliant match to put first.
Yeah,
it was like, here's a wrestling match, but here's how stupid and crazy we get. Woo! And here's all these.
Did you see Kay Adams tweeting about that? Like she went there live.
I saw a few things from her.
So Kay Adams, for those of you who don't know, she's an NFL analyst. Like she was on Good Morning Football. She has her own show now. This is her first wrestling event she's ever went to. She posted a tweet like early on, like, what do I expect? Like, this is my first WWE show. And then she started posting about Tribal Combat. And she's like, what is going on here? Are there any rules? They're hitting each other with everything, you know? And to see, I love that. I looked at all of her tweets from start to finish. That's a brand new person who just started watching wrestling. And for all the people that are sitting there saying this was the worst thing they ever saw, it was slow, it sucked, she had the best time, and she's like, I'm a fan now. I'll watch this every week.
Y'all didn't like it, but you're wrong. I saw quite a few people talking. What is it? Perry from the wrestling club, the guy who runs the wrestling club.
Yeah.
He had a friend call and say, "Hey, I just bought my tickets to WrestleMania. I'm going because that show was awesome." That was the whole goal with that episode of Raw. So I'd imagine there's more people like those two examples out there, and the job was done.
Live over 80% of the world.
Yeah. I all of my wrestling friends, with the exception of one that are overseas that always have to watch it on a delay, stayed up and watched it.
I love that.
It was a big deal. But now we can get to why we're truly here.
Right. We got
John Cena. He came out on Monday. In case you've been living under a rock and you didn't watch Raw this week, John Cena came out, and the reunion tour has officially began. Now, before we even get into the list and we go through the 5 whether to do one and all that good stuff, I would like to point out I had a theory on which I think John Cena should be going into WrestleMania with my number one pick, or it was my number one match in matches I want to see at WrestleMania, and it was John Cena versus Gunther. And I think he laid the groundwork for it right there for us on there, because he's like, maybe I can. Maybe it'll take a miracle. But by God, I'm going to go for it. And the self-doubt story has begun. Whether we get there or not, I don't know. But the groundwork has been laid, and it looks like I might be, at this point, it's looking like it's going in my favor, at least just a little bit.
He's got to win a match. He hasn't won a match in 200 days. The self-doubt's right there.
Chamber, everybody. Oh, my goodness. So,
yeah, we're in agreement. We both believe he's losing the Rumble, right?
Yeah, I think he gets the Final Four. I think he's in the Final Four, and then that's where it goes sideways for him. And I think it's something that kind of screwy, where it's not like he lost. He might have got screwed or something. I don't know.
Tell me, look, this is just off the top of my head. This is something I was thinking about a little bit earlier on. How great would it be if he builds this up, like, and everybody's like, all right, that's it. We're all behind him. We want to see it. Let's get Cena to WrestleMania. He comes out at number 1 and is the first guy eliminated.
No, bro, stop that.
But just imagine, like, that's it, like, self-doubt, like, completely crushed, like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this. Comes out, cuts, like, the promo of, hey, I said I was going to wait until December, but I don't even think I'm going to even make it then. Obviously, I don't have it. We get somebody come out, a little, fun happens. He goes to the chamber and wins the chamber and goes to Mania.
I'll lay out something that I like. I don't want to embarrass the man.
But that's the thing. I don't think it's embarrassed. I think he's been embarrassed the past couple of times he's been out there. Solo left him laying. He lost the theory. I feel like you add to that.
He has to build. Here's a scenario I would create here. I would put Gunther in this Royal Rumble, a la Brock Lesnar a few years ago.
Right.
And I'd have John Cena eliminate him, and then Gunther, because he's like this rake that nobody deserves to face Gunther. I've beaten everybody. The ring is sacred. This ring is no longer even sacred. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to win the Royal Rumble so that I don't have to waste my time, whatever.
Right.
He can make it happen. He can tell the promo to make this happen. So he gets eliminated by John Cena.
Or the motivation is how about even this better? His motivation is to get the win back against Cody from Crown Jewel. I'm going to enter the Rumble. I'm going to go to WrestleMania. I'm going to be Cody.
There you go. Oh. That's actually really good. And then he goes on to be double champion, but that doesn't happen because John Cena eliminates him. And he's so embarrassed by it because John Cena hasn't won shit. And it's the only person John Cena eliminates. And he's so embarrassed by it that he gets involved, and then Kaiser eliminates John Cena. Therefore, you've kickstarted John Cena and Gunther. You've opened up the door for a John Cena-Kaiser match, and you've actually put over to Kaiser in a big way by having him in the Final Four, which I think he's going to be a very big deal in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
He just has it. And that kickstarts that. And you've basically succeeded in doing 3 things in that little segment. That's how I would kickstart the John Cena Gunther program going into WrestleMania, baby. And I'm sure that'll pop up on my side of this list.
Well, you know what? Yeah, can we just? You want to look? It wasn't my number 5, but we'll just start with it. I have Cena loses to Gunther on my list. That is absolutely. And we're talking about it right now, so we can. I mean,
let's go ahead and wait till I make my pick on it, and then we can go into
sure.
Because I can discuss this all. I love the idea. I just absolutely. I'm fallen in love with the idea of John Cena and Gunther at WrestleMania. So, it might not even happen at WrestleMania, but that's mine. But I'll start with number 5 on mine. I'll let you go first. With number 5.
So my number 5 isn't a match; it's just a generalization.
I have a few of those.
Yeah. So I want Cena. Cena is one of the best mic workers in the world, and I just want to see Cena in segments where he's battling on the mic, because I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see Roman versus Cena again this go around, but I want to see them two in a ring together one more time with mics in their hands, just to go battle back and forth a little bit. I want to see him have a mic battle with Kevin Owens at one point with this new Kevin Owens character. I think that would just, oh my God. I think that match has to happen too, but just in case, at least I want to see a promo battle with them, and I want to see the New Day and John Cena in the ring. I think that's going to be so much fun to have Cena and the New Day in a verbal battle. I mean, and even if we just get a one night thing where he got to find a tag team partner and they face the New Day, I think that would just be so great. I just think that Woods and Kofi are killing it his heels, and I think Cena just elevates that.
Yeah. So Harry says he would like. Yeah. But he says number 5 is Cena wins the IC title with IC title open challenges. Not a bad one. But we just brought up Kevin Owens, and it wasn't even a thought that popped up in mind when I was making my list. I think it would be when we're talking about John Cena's last matches, I think Kevin Owens should be on consideration for this, because I think it would be kind of a real cool full circle moment. John Cena's Kevin Owens' first win on the main roster was beating Kevin Owens. And then John Cena's final loss in WWE was Kevin Owens putting him out. I think that would be really cool for Kevin Owens. I think it would be a cool accolade he had. And I know those are the kind of things he's looking for these days. He don't really care about he likes the fun stuff like that. I think that would be cool. But mine is kind of similar to that. I want to see him in NXT, and I don't want it to be like a one-off thing. I want him to have a run in it, like a 1.5, 2 month run.
I'd love that. I
want him to pair up with Trick. And I want to see a music video of them doing I want them to do a rap video together, because I want to see the Dr. Thugonomics and Trick Williams cutting a track on Obafemi and someone. I don't know.
That would be amazing.
That's what I want to see at number 5 on my list, because I want to get some of that nostalgia in this run. That's why we're here. That's why he's here. He's here to give us some of that old flavor while telling his final story. And I think that would be a great one, because he's never had a run in it. I know he's been there like once or twice.
Right, yeah.
I think this would be cool, though. There you go. Hey, here, this is the tag match right there. You do John Cena and Trick Williams versus Ethan Page.
Yeah, I like that.
Have them cut a rap track on those two. That would be great.
By the way, shout out to Obafemi, new NXT champion. Julia too. Man, that's I knew that when he lost to Tony D'Angelo, it was just a matter of time before that man was going to be world champion. I thought that man's got it.
Yeah, I thought it was Stand and Deliver. They really jumped the shark on, but not a bad way. Not a bad way.
No,
they just immediately put that title on, and that's cool, because he is probably the best thing in NXT.
That guy's got it. Like, I mean,
the only problem with mine is Trick even going to be in NXT much longer? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know. And here's the other thing. Triple H very quietly mentioned that SmackDown's not going to be 3 hours. It's going to be 2. So I don't know if that's the case. I don't know how much of this everybody was like, well, they're going to have to call up all this NXT talent to, for all this TV time.
Yeah, because roster's stacked. Them cutting 2 hours was my problem, because it was so stacked. So them going back to whatever they're going to be, 2 to 3 hours, I'm sure it'll differentiate from week to week, but they have the roster. They don't need to add people. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to do a mass call-up. I don't think that's
I agree.
But yeah, that's my number 5. I like that. Mainly, I want to see Dr. Thugonomics and Trick Williams cut a rap video, because I think that would be fun as hell. Number 4 on the John Cena reunion wish lists, and I'll let you go first again. We'll just bounce back and forth on them at this point, unless for whatever reason they coincide with each other. Number 4, what you got?
I want to see Cena versus Punk. Just straight up Cena versus Punk. I mean, if it's a story just written in the stars. It's got to happen. There's so much history there. I think we know that there are certain people that Cena has to work with. Like there are people that aren't on my list that Cena almost like has to work with on his way out. There's going to be a match with Orton at some point.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys, maybe even another one against Sikoa and Austin Theory, just to maybe even get his like revenge back on some of those. I think you see him face Rollins. I think you see him face like a bunch of the top guys. But there are just a couple that I think need to happen. And Cena versus Punk needs to happen. I mean, just the promos alone are going to be great. But Punk and Cena are two vets now who know how to put on a great match. And I think they'll tear the house down.
Yeah. John Cena isn't going to be. He's clearly not the worker he once was. So facing someone like Punk is going to help him put on a good match. Because Punk knows how to make more with less, more than most of the people on the roster.
Absolutely.
And they can tell not only a good story with the mic, but a fantastic story in the ring. I think John Cena's two out of his 3 best matches all time based on like the cage match ratings, which is fair. I actually agree with the cage match ratings on this one because 3 of his best matches are with CM Punk. There was the Monday Night Raw match, and there was Money in the Bank. I think you'd be hard-pressed to tell me a John Cena match that tops those as far as a one-on-one match goes.
The only one that I put in that stratosphere is the one against AJ Styles at Royal Rumble.
And there you go. There's your top 3.
Yeah.
I think him and Cesaro had some good matches on Raw. They were phenomenal matches.
Him and Umaga is up there. The street fight.
But I think the Punk ones stand out.
Yeah.
They were made for. This is why it was so hard not to see them main event of WrestleMania because they literally were perfect foes for each other.
They really were.
John Cena was everything that CM Punk hated, and if there's anybody in the world that can hang with John Cena on the microphone and CM Punk, they're just tailor made for each other. So yeah, I would want to see that match for sure. Harry, I'm not gonna say you took the words out of my mouth, but I did mention this last week. After I listened to the Chris Van Vliet interview with R-Truth, which was fantastic. You should check that out if you haven't. I think it would be awesome for R-Truth to win the tag titles, or at least have a great tag team run with his childhood hero, John Cena. Those are the kinds of things I think John Cena is here to do.
Yeah.
Fun. And I don't think you're going to have any more fun than in a tag team with R-Truth. I think it'd be fantastic. So I co-sign. It's not on my list because I did say it last week, but that is a fantastic one. It's very high on the things I do want to see him to have. I think they had 3 matches. I think they were all good.
Yeah.
Well,
the one at the Rumble just for me surpasses everything because they don't go outside the ring.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It just amazes me. Yeah. Like that match is so like, I finished my Royal Rumble rewatch this year. By the way, I finished early. I'm very happy with myself.
Quit.
But for the most part, I don't stop and watch singular matches. But this year and last year, both, I watched that Cena and AJ match. This year, I watched a few more. And as a matter of fact, if we're talking about Cena, I watched that Cena and Umaga match too, which was absolutely phenomenal. I mean,
as far as matches that aren't just straight up one-on-one matches, the Umaga one's probably his best, like, stipulation.
Oh, yeah, hands down. It's so good.
My number 4, I want to see the man win. Like, that's it. I want to see him win because we watched Sting go on a 3-year retirement tour in which he never lost.
Never lost, yeah.
I know a lot of people hated on it. Like, he didn't put anybody over, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. He didn't go out there and bury anybody.
He put over Darby Allin. He put over Darby Allin. Let's be honest.
Kind of buried the Acclaim at one point, but that's not his fault. Like, I'm sure it wasn't his idea to 1v2 them like he did. But yeah. I think John Cena. I think John Cena is higher on the all-time list than Sting is, so I would like him to get that same kind of level of respect. And I'm not saying he needs to win every match, but he needs to win. I haven't seen him win in what 2,600 days.
No, it's 200 and something. I think he said
2,600.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2,600. I'm sorry, it's 200.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's insane to think about.
It's like that.
Some people that did nothing for them because the other people didn't grab the bull like the horn of the bull like they're supposed to, and that's sad. That makes me hate the fact. Solo.
You can make the argument.
Him beating Cena is what got Solo over. I think Solo doing the tribal chief thing is what got him over. I think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The job.
Yeah.
It didn't do. He did better than Austin Theory. I'll give him that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
like,
what Cena's last win is that random 6-man tag match he has on Raw with like R-Truth and The Miz, if I'm not mistaken.
That's sad to me.
I think
I cannot take this. I want him to have at least a 75% win percentage in 2025. Let's send this man out like he deserves, because he's arguably the greatest of all time. I cannot watch him go out on his back. Like that can't happen. I can't do it. Win.
I'm in such the opposite camp. I can't find like 10 matches that like Cena, like especially important matches. I can find you 10 matches easy to make Cena win. I can't find 5 important matches that I want to see Cena win.
Hey, if he was to face Kevin Owens again and again, if he beat Kevin Owens, I would be fine with it. I really would, because I think there are ways. We see it in AEW quite a bit. You can get over in a loss.
Of course. Absolutely.
I think they have to find the formula that works there with Cena, where he can get someone over. And I thought Austin Theory would have been better off had he lost to John Cena.
I agree.
Stand on that to this day. And
clearly,
I might not be wrong, because Austin Theory hasn't done diddly shit since then. He had to he was stuck in a shadow after he won. And it was like, where do you go from there? And he did nothing. So him losing would have at least created a redemption arc, and he gave him something. And I think you could do that with some people. Maybe you do 50-50 booking with some. I'm fine with that. But he needs to win. Whether it be in tag matches, like you said, 6 man, do it.
I'm totally okay with that. Yeah. I'm just like wins. Some of those bigger matches though, like maybe against Kevin Owens. That's fine. Yeah, okay.
But do it. Everyone else beats Seth.
Well, that's my issue, is that everybody else beats Seth now. You know, like
that's where he's at in his career, though. Like
I know,
full title run. You gotta lose some.
I know.
Win some.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. You're not wrong. It sucks. We're both big Seth Rollins fans, so I know that we're both not happy with seeing him, on his back all the time. I'm sure you wanted Punk to win on Monday.
There you go, right there. Oh,
I agree.
Yeah, I did want Punk to win, because again, I think Seth is one of those guys that can go out on his back and not look weak, and he's still fine, because he knows how to construct. Like, he knows how to put on a show that's like, I'm not buried. I lost, but I'm still Seth freaking Rollins, and you will never forget me. So I think Seth is one of those guys that can take a loss to Cena and be okay. Clearly, he shouldn't be beating Roman Reigns. No, absolutely not. I don't even want to see him come back and beat Solo. I think Solo's at a point where he shouldn't be doing that. I think if they face each other again, Solo should beat him again.
The other guys that I have on my list, I just don't see him beating.
That's fine. This at all.
That's fine.
Theory deserves that, because he is not. He fumbled. WWE didn't fumble him. He fumbled big time.
I think there's a combination of both of them.
I'm a big believer in talent supersedes bad booking. If you are good, if you are great, you can get out of bad booking. And Austin Theory proved that maybe he's not as great as we thought he was. I hope he is. I really hope he is. I hope he finds it and it works, because I love the kid. But the win over Cena was horrible for him. I think that was the bad booking.
Yeah.
And everything that followed was kind of like, dude, do something.
Yeah.
But win. That's my number 4. I want to see him win.
I'm not against that, fully. I mean, he's got to win matches. There's no doubt about it. He's got to win matches.
I'll go ahead and take number 3 this time, because
sure.
I'm gonna be a hypocrite here. With number 3, I want him to put over Dominic Mysterio.
I knew that was going to be on your list at one point. It
should happen, and let me tell you why. I just said Austin Theory completely fumbled his opportunity when he beat John Cena. Solo Sikoa didn't really follow up with anything after he beat John Cena. You know who won't fumble this opportunity?
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
And he's proven it time and time again. You give him an opportunity, whether he wins, loses, has to look like a fool, whatever it is, he comes out cleaner on the other side every single time. And John Cena, like, he can try to bury him like he does, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, because I know the word bury gets thrown out.
Yeah.
But when he gets on the mic and he rips into someone, they call it a burial. Go ahead and try it on Dominic Mysterio. It doesn't matter, because he's been having to deal with the biggest asshole fans on the planet for the past 2.5 years, and doesn't faze him. He still comes out looking like $1 million, grinning, laughing at him with his miguerta. I think I said that right. I hope I did. He's untouchable with it. So It'd be nice to hear John's arsenal against Dom, but I don't think it's going to affect Dom. I think they would put on an amazing match because Dom can do it with the right people. And I think John can get him there. And I think this could be something that catapults him. If this was to happen, though, it has to happen before WrestleMania if Dom's going to turn babyface, which I don't think it's happened now. But I want to see him put over Dom Mysterio. If we're going to put over one young talent on this run, that's the one that needs to happen.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree. Look, I think that we're at a point now where it's almost like, okay, Dom, people are sitting there talking about how there was a point where Liv took a backseat in her feud with Rhea, and it was Rhea and Dom. Dom has taken a backseat for almost the past 6 months. He has been just the other guy in the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley feud for like 6 months. That's why I'm so mad at these Liv Morgan fans who like honestly believe that like she's being buried. Meanwhile, she's had the third longest women's title run since 2016.
She's had a good one.
She's had a great run. She's been on fire. And people sit there and they're like, oh, she didn't get what she just. Shut up. She got everything. She's a heel. She's supposed to cheat to win. That's what happens. Yeah. But, look, at the end of the day, like, she's doing her job because she's showing heat. When she came out, my girlfriend just looked at the screen. She's like, oh, God. I was like, well, it's all right. At least we got something good there. And she looked at me. I was like, well, Dom's coming out.
Man. Who could have predicted that would have ever fucking worked? Sign me already, man. Come on, y'all.
But my thing is that if you're gonna put somebody over, Dom's right. He's on fire right now. He's one of the best things in the company. Him and Cena on the mic is going to be great, and it's going to be fun for Cena to bury him like he does to these other people. It's going to be fun because Dom's going to sell it like $1 million.
That's the thing right there. The other ones didn't sell it when it happened. They were just kind of like, "Fuck, where do I go? What do I do?" Dom's just going to be like, he's just going to do something stupid and sell it like $1 million.
Yeah.
It's gold. It's gold. Real quick.
Absolutely.
I wish we got a Dom ticket. Why? So he could have chokeslammed the Undertaker and retired his punk butt too? Yeah, I would have liked to seen that. And I think here's the thing though. Triple H is the one that brought Austin Theory in. So I don't like this. I think Vince took the Theory for sure. For sure. Yeah. But Austin Theory was a Triple H guy first because Triple H is the one who was like, I like this kid, bring him in. So
and I think that's why he got called. I think he got called up to the main roster too soon. I think if Vince didn't fall in love with Theory would have been a lot better off because after the whole thing with the Way, if he would have feuded with Gargano after that and he could have had a good babyface run in NXT as a top guy and maybe even won the NXT title.
Yeah, I think him coming up and then going back and then coming back, like because he came up with
he did that WrestleMania. Yeah,
Andrade at one point. I was like, or no, it wasn't Andrade. It was Andrade. He was with Andrade, wasn't he? He was with Seth, and it was a mess.
Yeah, they brought him up. Yeah, they brought him up because somebody got hurt. I think whoever was supposed to team, maybe it was Andrade. It was somebody, but somebody got hurt. It might have been. It was something like that, but somebody got hurt, and then Theory
got hurt for Seth, and then Humberto got hurt with Andrade. I think
that might have been it. Yeah.
And they were just like, plug this guy in because he's really good in the ring, but we don't have anything. And I think that was pretty detrimental to him.
I think so too. I think that if he would have stayed in NXT, he would have had a concrete NXT run, and would have really substantiated his character down there. I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
But hey, them's the breaks, right? You win some, you lose some. Yeah, Andrade was hurt, so there we go. That's what it was. Okay, so there you go.
All right. But yeah, it's your number 3. I don't know if that was yours too. You shared number 3 with me?
No, my number 3 is Cena versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. There you go. Bingo,
just
that needs to happen.
Yeah, promo battles. This new Drew character, Cena can really pick him apart. Drew can really, come back at him. Happy New Year. Drew can really heavily come back at him. On the mic too. We've seen that Drew can battle anybody on the mic now and make it work. I think that new intensity, the heel intensity that Drew has now, is just tailor-made for knockdown, drag out, big time. If Cena doesn't go to WrestleMania to face Gunther, the WrestleMania match that I want to see Cena have is against Drew McIntyre.
Harry agrees with you. And hey, this is one of those matches where I don't think Cena should go over. Drew should definitely win this.
I agree.
I agree. He should not beat Drew.
I have 3 matches.
Won the world title and then Drew took it from him.
Yeah, I have 3 matches on my list, and I don't think Cena wins any of them.
Man, this guy's a hater. He hates John Cena. He even told me last week, I think.
Listen, you want my honest opinion? When I was a smarky, jerky,
you hated him.
Teenager slash, early 20s, and Cena was the guy, I hated John Cena. I went to every event and booed John Cena. I almost walked out of Royal Rumble 2008 because John Cena came out at number 30. I knew he was going to win. And that's the only Royal Rumble I went to live, and it's my favorite event. I despise John Cena. Here's the big difference, though. I look back at it now, and I think to myself,
you were wrong.
You were such an idiot, dude.
Yes,
you were such an idiot. And I know I was being exactly like the fans who I complain about now. I was complaining, Orton's way better. Edge is way better. Cena can't wrestle. He can't put on a good match. He's not he can't go in ring like these other guys can. He's not even that entertaining. Why is he's shoved down our throat? And then now I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, of course he was. He made a ton of money. He was great on the mic. He was great in the ring. He did everything. He has everything you need. He's a superstar. I admit that I was wrong back in the day. I also it's hard for me when someone announces that they're going to retire to want to see him beat a lot of people, because if he beats those people they're never getting those wins back. And I think that's why these bigger matches that I have on the list are matches I think Cena has to lose, because I think that there are certain guys that Cena should be putting over. And I think Drew McIntyre is absolutely one of those guys.
For sure. I 1,000,000% agree with you. It would be one of those things where if he beat Drew McIntyre, I'd be like, WTF. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's when I saw, he should not even come close to beating Drew. I wouldn't mind Drew squashing him. Because that's how much higher of a level Drew is right now. He is a top 3 dude for the company.
Oh yeah,
top 3. I wouldn't even argue if you said he was top 2. That's how great his work is right now. You're gonna get a Cena Randy. There's no way we don't at some point this year. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really care for Cena back in the day. There was a point where I was like, I'm tired of the guy, but I look back, I realized I was wrong, and now I want to appreciate him because I didn't back in the time. This is my time to appreciate him because I was an idiot before. That's why I'm so high on things right now.
I do like that we both can admit that we were both jerks and that we were both wrong for it. You see,
I never paid for a ticket to go boo the man, though.
I didn't specifically pay for a ticket to go boo him. I paid for a ticket to hopefully see him lose. Most of the time, it didn't happen, but that's besides the point. Look, here, the wrestling fans, though, take this whole segment that we just had into account. Understand that you can admit when you're wrong. It's okay.
I love admitting I was wrong. I love to admit when I was wrong because it's a teaching moment. I'm learning something. Harry here says, I'm always a Cena fan for his work and Make-A-Wish. So real quick tidbit before we go on the list. I listened to an interview with Chris Van Vliet. It said it released in December, but apparently was from earlier in the year, in which he talked about there was a time where he was going to turn heel. It was during the Rock stuff. And he went and cut a track. He has it in his vault somewhere. He had new gear, all this other stuff. And they said, well, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to be the exact opposite of everything I ever was. I'm not going to hustle. I'm not going to have any respect. I'm going to give up whenever I can. And then there's that, okay, what else you got there? And then he said, I'm not going to do no more media. And they're like, wait, hold on. He said, I'm not going to do no more Make-A-Wish. And that's where they were like, wait, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Deal. I thought that was hilarious. And then Van Vliet even said, I can see a twinkle in your eye. You were really excited for this, weren't you? He goes, oh, I was ready to go all in on it. And I'm like, man, that would have been cold. But it would have taken away from the legacy of John Cena, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's he's known as the ultimate super good guy. And so I'm kind of torn on it. It's man, I would have loved to have seen that, but I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. Look,
I don't want to offend anybody here, and about what your beliefs are. But my hope at this point is that if there's an afterlife, that in the afterlife I can just sit down and just see what would happen in alternate universes. And I would love to see the alternate universe of John Cena turns heel at that point to see what WWE's trajectory is after that. I think that would have been amazing to see. But again, it's the same thing with Bianca. People are now like they're talking about, I want Bianca to be the one who attacked Jade. I want Bianca to turn heel. No, you don't do that.
I don't want Bianca to do it because she's
right.
Cena.
Right, exactly. Let her be that character. Bayley was going to be that character. It got too hard with the hugger thing. Bianca doesn't have anything holding her back. She can be, and look, she's a babyface with edge right now too. Like she's coming out like slamming people hard, attacking people, like going at people.
She's just naturally likable.
Right. There's no need to turn her heel.
Yeah, you don't do that, and that's why again, Cena walked so she could run, and that's why I'm appreciating her because I made the mistake of not doing it before. I'm still not the biggest Bianca fan, but I still appreciate everything she does. She's phenomenal. She does amazing work. To this day.
Yeah.
But number 2 on the John Cena retirement tour lists. I'll go ahead and go this time since I've already flipped it on it, but it coincides with number 3 a little bit because we got some Judgment Day brothers.
Cool.
And I want to see Finn Balor come back and get his receipt for John Cena stealing his title match the last time John Cena was around.
Ooh!
And if there's one thing Triple H loves to do is go back and take them callbacks and right some wrongs. And Finn's in for a big push this year, we heard. I know we've heard it before, but I tend to believe Triple H a little bit more than Vince. And I think that's a perfect match for John Cena at some point during this one. And this is another one John Cena should not win.
Right.
I'll get that out. I agree. I think that's a great story because there's already roots there. You just gotta give it a little bit of water and watch it grow.
I think that you could start this as early as next week.
Yeah, you could. That could be his first real feud.
He comes out, and Finn comes out to interrupt him. Who says you should even enter the Royal Rumble? You get another shot. You screwed me. I didn't get my shot because of you. Boom! It writes itself. It's right there. That's man.
Yeah. I'm good at it. I'm good.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about that. Finn's my favorite wrestler, so I love that you did.
Yeah. So it don't have to be Dominic Mysterio. I still got some good ideas, everybody. Honestly, this could be. I don't know how you do it during the world title chase into WrestleMania without him beating Finn. So I don't want that to happen. I think it needs to happen after Mania.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it where he
could beat Cena on a Raw before the Elimination Chamber,
right?
And Finn gets his title shot at the Elimination Chamber,
right? And then Cena beats him, and pins him in the Elimination Chamber. Boom.
That's good. You could do that. But yeah, I think it would be a complete swing and a miss if you didn't address that at some point. You have a whole year to do it, so don't forget it. Let's go ahead and clean that mess up because that was silly.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'll let you go number 2. I know it's gonna be hard to follow up because I done got y'all excited about your boy Finn, but
it's gonna be easy. This was probably gonna be my number 1, but I know what your number 1 is, and I think I'll make our number 1s just be the same. But you mentioned
my number 1 isn't him facing Gunther at WrestleMania.
Okay, so that's your number 2 then, right?
Matches for WrestleMania. I have a different number 1 kind of, but it's
all right. So then we'll go into Cena and Gunther because that's really was my number 2. I just think that we talked about this before. It's logical. It makes total sense. And
ultimate good guy, ultimate bad guy.
Right. Cena is exactly. Cena's that ultra good guy. Gunther is just that guy who has, and I think the promo is going to be great too because Gunther is the person who does have respect, and he's going to talk about how much respect he has for Cena until he tears him down and saying that you don't have it anymore. I'll chop the dust off your chest. I'm going to put you out of the business. I'm going to teach you a lesson. You're never as good as me. You were never as good as me. The only thing I regret is that I wasn't around in your prime just to, put you through the ring in your prime. And we're off to the races.
The retirement tour doesn't happen if I'm around in your time.
Boom. Perfect. I think that they're perfect opponents. I think that their styles will match really well. I think Gunther is dominant. Cena always fights him from underneath. They make so much sense in so many different ways. That's seeing Cena, get the chance at beating the world title, whatever the number of world title reigns record, and coming this close at WrestleMania, only to lose to Gunther.
Oh. You know me. Hey, if he wins it at Mania, I'm like, And if he loses at Mania in the chase, I'm like, oh, it's going to be amazing either way. There's no way you screw that up. So
yeah, it's money.
It's the perfect match for Cena during this run. Harry says real quick, his number 2 is Joe Hendry's segment. Or hey, yeah, that way John Cena can bury him because he doesn't believe in Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry doesn't even believe in himself. That's what I say about that. I just cut the John Cena promo on Joe Hendry for you. There's the segment. It's not going to happen. I don't want it. They wrestled. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Gunther has our ammo. I'm sure that once John Cena was like, "Hey, I'm coming back for a retirement tour," all these guys were like, "I'm going to start thinking of things."
Let's go.
They've got him in the back pocket. Yeah, they're doing that for sure, and I'm all for it. Because Austin Theory, he did get eviscerated, but he had some nice lines in there against.
He did.
And it was almost like then John Cena went all B-Rabbit on him, and it was just over with. But I fully believe, because Gunther has gone up against some other people on the mic that you're like, oh, man, he has no business. And then he stood tall. He even kind of outdid a few of them. I don't see him outdoing Cena, but I think he can at least hang with him.
Yeah.
He won't get completely eviscerated. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think there was a point in time where we were on this show, like in the early days of us doing this. And I think we mentioned that, man, it's crazy that, they didn't pair Gunther with, somebody else other than Kaiser as a mouthpiece, because the only hole really in his game is his promos. And my God, did he prove us all wrong with that?
I think he heard a lot. I imagine he probably listens to the internet like a lot of people.
Sure.
Instead of going on there battling people, looking like a fool, he was like, all right.
I can't get a promo? Watch me.
Yeah. He did that Liv Morgan. Watch me. Because he's a big Liv Morgan fan. I heard from a very reliable source about that. A Cena Dom match. Yeah, I said that was my number 3. I want Cena to put over Dom. Dom should be the only young talent that I think 100% gets a win over John Cena. I wouldn't be mad at Braun Breaker. I think he's another one that could beat Braun Breaker could beat John. But if you, and it's not even because I'm a big Dom fan, I truly believe this. If you're putting gun to my head and saying pick one young talent that Cena has to put over on his region, Dom, right? Because Dom's the one that has earned it at this point.
Just the one thing I want to say about Breaker, though, I think Breaker's the kind of, Harry mentioned earlier that a lot of people want to see Cena win the IC title. It's the only title in the WWE he hasn't won. I think Breaker is the kind of a guy where we've seen that he can take a loss. He's taken a loss to Ciampa. He's taken a loss to Sammy, and it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
I think he's the kind of guy that can lose to Cena on a Raw and lose the IC title, and then we finally get the Intercontinental title on a pay-per-view where Breaker beats him, beats it back for him. Let
Cena do 5 matches of his thing. That way he's kind of like a little beaten down, and then Breaker takes advantage of it or pay-per-view and beats. Like something like that.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with it. And if I don't get the Gunther John Cena world title story going into Mania, you can literally just take Gunther out, put Braun Breaker in, and it works. It's not as grand and big. It's still a really awesome story if John Cena wins it. And if he doesn't, I hate you, Braun. It's great. It's very simple. You can't screw it up.
Yeah.
It's like putting the tag titles on the Outrunners. You'd have to be a fool not to take advantage of this very easy thing. Sorry, I had to get that one in there. I am still upset to this day.
I think this is 3 weeks in a row you've at least had a little reference to that, and I think it should continue for the rest of the show.
I can't sleep at night thinking about it.
Until they win the titles, I think every week you have to make mention of that here.
I think this would be a great Imperium 2.0. Like once Kaiser goes his own way, he brings these guys up. This is a great way to bring Dempsey up to the main roster.
And I like that. I like Regal being with Gunther as his almost like his wise man. I think that's great.
That'd be great. What's up? Hi, bro. How you like that CM Punk win on Monday Night Raw, baby? Woo! We're talking about how John Cena should squash Randy Orton at SummerSlam in the main. But now my number 1. Since you're talking about John Cena versus Gunther, I'm going to go ahead into my number 1, and then he'll have the final say here tonight. But I don't care. Call me a fanboy. Call me a mark. I don't care. I want to see John Cena win the world title. I want to see him break the record. And I know that's like, it's one of those just, it's a popular opinion, but it's also a very unpopular opinion. I personally just want to see it. Again, I didn't appreciate Cena when I should have. And I missed out on the ride so many times. And I'm like, man, I missed out on that. And if there's anybody who's been the ambassador for WWE, who carried the torch for WWE longer than anybody in the history of the business, who's put in the work, he's been ride or die for WWE since day one. Like I don't think there's ever been a better flag bearer for WWE than John Cena. And if you're going to have a year to tell a story in which he can rise up from the ashes of his just complete embarrassment over the last 2,600 days and get him into a world title match to win it, again, even if it's for like he wins it and then someone cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase, Dominic Mysterio, right afterwards, I'm fine with it. I just want to see him win it. I don't care if it's like I said last week, I hate when they just give people things just for the sake of it. I think this is one of those things I'm fine with it because of what he has meant. He lost. He hasn't won a singles match in 2,600 days, and he has not had a problem with that. I think it's one of those, hey, man, you've given us everything. Let's put you in the history books as literally the greatest world champion in the history of WWE. And
he is.
Let's go ahead and solidify. Put a stamp on it. Get Rick off them damn books. Send him away on a helicopter. I know he loves him. Put John Cena at the top of that list. I just personally want to see it. Again,
I know a lot of people do.
I know it's a popular and unpopular opinion at the same time. That's mine. Sorry it wasn't anything juicy or cool, everybody. I gave you a juicy and cool one at number 2.
Mine's not that
personal. I want to see it happen. And
mine's not that juicy or cool either. But look,
do it at WrestleMania's mine.
I don't look. I understand what everybody wants to see that, and I understand that from a fan perspective. People who are fans of Cena, people who are even fans of WWE.
Real quick, Harry, your number one is to see John Cena tap out to Gunther at WrestleMania main event for the world title. Let me tell you something. Never give up. Never give up. You better show some respect to the Dr. Thugonomics. He ain't tapping out to Gunther. He gonna 5-knuckle shuffle, attitude adjustment, send that. Ooh, no, Harry. That's 2 in a row now. That's 2 in a row. 3 strikes. You're not out, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. Now you go ahead.
I think there's an easy way to rectify the John Cena doesn't need to win a world title to be the preeminent guy there. There's a very easy loophole. You have Ric Flair come out and just, cut a promo and be like, there's, maybe I have all these world titles, but no one's ever done it in one company for an extended period of time. John, you're better than me. Good Lord, yada, 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 yada. And that's it. Boom, it's done. Over. Look, I just don't feel the need to see Cena win a world title again. We saw it 16 times. There were a lot of times where people were, on the cusp and looked like, they could get there, and then Cena wins a world title again. And it's like, well, there they go again. I just think that I'm through with the world titles, with any world title being a consolation prize. I'm done with it because WWE has done this countless times where they've made the world title a damn consolation prize. They did it with Goldberg multiple times.
Goldberg, was that the last time they did it? I'm trying to think. When was the last time they did it?
Probably right around that time. It was probably Goldberg. I don't really think they've really done it prior to that because since Triple H has taken over the past 3 years, it's been, he's taking care of those titles.
So, real quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you be against it if there was a good enough story that took you on a ride to get there as opposed to it feeling like
there is? There is. It's there. But the thing is that I just don't think that whatever there is, I just don't feel like he's jazzed it up already. He's queuing it up. That's what he did on Raw. That was that promo, right? He's saying, this is where I want to do. I want to lay my claim. I want to be the world, I don't think I can. There's a chance. But, if I got to do this, I got to win the Raw. It's there. We know the first thing he mentioned was being world champion. It wasn't, he said I need to get my win back. But that came after that because the first thing he said was, everybody wants to see me be world champion. Man, I didn't even win yet. It's the first thing he mentioned. If it's the first thing that came out of his mouth, it's setting up a story.
Yeah.
They're started already. The train's already left the tracks. To me, I think it's better that he comes up short. I just think it is. I just think that him coming in and saying, I'm great, I'm the greatest of all time, but damn, these new guys are just a step quicker than I am because I'm 40-something years old and I don't have what I used to. I think it's a better story than seeing him once again do the same thing as always. He overcame the odds. He did the I'm tired of seeing him do the impossible. He's been doing the impossible his entire career. This is the point where, yes, he can come back. He can have some fun. He can win some matches. But I think putting over the future is more important than defining his legacy because I think his legacy is already there. I think that in 20 years, John Cena Hogan's going to be pushed off the top of the mountain. It's going to be pushed off. But that's it. It's the Mount Rushmore of WWE is going to eventually just be Rock, Austin, Cena. That's it. It's going to be Rock, Austin, Cena. That's going to be their Mount Rushmore forever.
So, is your number one? You don't want him to win the world title?
No, my number one is actually that I want to see him and Cody.
Okay, so real quick then, you're saying like you think the better story is him losing. Hey, it's gonna break my heart. So you're not wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not against him. This is a win-win situation for me if the story happens. Because if he wins it, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm a broken record at this point. I'm gonna keep saying it until it doesn't happen or it does happen. I think it's just a fantastic story to tell because when you have a situation where you can tell a story and both outcomes are just simply amazing, you do that story.
So I was just me too.
I was literally getting ready to run outside to wrap up our spigots outside because of we had a cold front that came through and that they were like wrap these up so you don't get frozen pipes or whatever. So I was literally about to go do that, and then because Hogan was coming out, I was like, I don't care what this old bitch has to say. But then I was like, are they booing him? I said, okay, I'm gonna wait. And I enjoyed every last second of it. It was hilarious. And Lewis says he agrees with you. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with him. I just he's on one side of the fence, I'm on the other side of the fence. And when they happen, we can outrun or do this. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Same. If it does happen, great.
I'm gonna be over there going, told you so, punk boy.
And I'll admit that I was probably wrong because I know that when they do it, they'll make it huge, you know?
It's gotta be Dom. Where you been, bro? I'm way more brutal with Dom stuff than I am Punk at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
All I wanted for Christmas was my ultimate WWE Ultimate Dominic Mysterio WrestleMania 39 action figure. And I got it, Lou. You're never gonna get your hands on it.
It's a good looking figure.
But okay, go ahead with your number one. Go ahead and
it's Cody Cena. It's the passing of the torch. It's the biggest babyface of our generation, passing the torch to who's going to inevitably be the biggest babyface of this generation in WWE. I think the match would be amazing. I think it writes itself. I think Cody is so good, and seeing like the tear run down his cheek as he hits the crossroads to beat Cena, to deny Cena of winning the world title and winning that 17th championship, and then him like giving him the hug and raising them raising their hands afterwards. I think it's a great babyface versus great babyface story. You know, it's like that Rocky and Apollo story. I absolutely love their chemistry in the ring too. I feel like they would have really good chemistry. We've seen Cena and Cody when Cody was younger on the mic before, and I think that'll play back in where Cody even mentions that he's going to be like the guy of the up and coming generation, and Cena buries him on the mic. And now, you know, Cody can come back and be like, I'm not that kid anymore that, you know, I didn't have any respect. I know who you are. I know where you've been. I respect you. I just want to be a part of your final retirement run. Match between the two of them would be absolutely unreal. Two of the best workers, two of the best baby faces ever. There's nothing else I want to see more.
I was about to say, I don't think they've ever faced each other, but they have.
But, I mean, definitely not on this level.
They've been throwaway matches, though, so it don't matter.
Right. It's definitely not on this level. It was
first time ever, though, and that would have been cool.
He got it twice? Amanda, you spoil that, man.
Let me tell you this bullshit story. Oh my God, I wanted to lose my mind. So I got my figure. Christmas didn't get canceled. The kids are very thankful for that. But the next night we had we did a white Christmas. I think that's what it's called, where everyone has a bunch of gifts, and then we roll some dice. You get doubles, you pull a gift. You roll doubles, you pull a gift. And then after all the gifts are gone, we play another round. You roll doubles, you steal from other people, and then you have like a time limit. All right. So I didn't see the wrapping here. Like, in case y'all live under a rock and y'all don't know what the figure looks like. I know y'all all looked it up because you wanted one. It's a very distinguishable box.
Yes.
Okay? So I roll doubles. I grab a few. Amanda rolls doubles, and she's on the other side of the table. She rolls doubles, pulls one from, I don't know where. I don't know where this thing was hiding. And I see the shape, and I'm like, that's Ultimate Figure. I know what I'm doing the rest of this show, this game. And I literally spent the next 15 minutes of this game making sure I got this figure. Okay. I stole it from like 4 people because everyone kept stealing it back from me. They're like, oh, that's a good, it must be a hot present because Jimmy keeps wanting it. So they kept taking it from me, and I had to keep taking it back from them. I did end up with it. I immediately was like, open this up. Which Ultimate Figure did I get? Dominic Mysterio. I was like, now I have one in box and out of box. This is the greatest day ever. And I literally grabbed it and was about to rip it open. And then my son had to come out, and he saw, and he goes, oh, you saw what happened? And I'm like, what? She took my figure and rewrapped it. I almost opened this thing out of box off of a prank. He's laughing. This was not funny. This was not funny. To make it more believable that there was another one, my son was like, yeah, I actually ended up seeing another one of those at Best Buy, and I just didn't tell you about it because I know you would have bought it. So I thought they went to Best Buy and just got it. And oh my goodness. Oh, this ain't funny, Lou. This ain't funny.
Oh man. It's not, look, it's funny. It is funny, but my God.
In hindsight, it's funny. Had I ripped that thing open,
oh no.
Horrible night.
Yeah, no, 100%. As a figure collector, like I'm cringing for you.
Everybody get the F out of my house because shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Y'all all laughing. This ain't funny. This ain't
funny. Uncle Phil, everybody out the door at that point.
Oh, my goodness. So yeah, that's what happened after Christmas. That's not funny. That's not funny. She would have. I believe her. She would have done. She would have made up for it. But I'm glad I didn't. Like, yeah, I can laugh now, but man, in the moment, I was like, y'all almost ruined my perfect mint condition Ultimate Figure Dominic Mysterio WrestleMania 39 action figure that I got for Christmas.
Ooh, man, that would have been terrible.
I wanted. Yeah, you wouldn't, because I got a security system up around the house and I wouldn't let you. Ain't coming near it. Right on the shelf with my other Dominic Mysterio and Drip King action figure. So yeah, that's the list. Pretty good stuff. I'm glad I was able to surprise you with the Finn one. I can't believe it. I was like, he gotta have that on his list.
I was so mad about that. I almost put it out of my, like, that's another reason why, I every time Cena comes back, I'm like, I'm gonna like him now. You know, like let's be on board. Let's be a fan. Then he comes back and he takes a title shot from Finn, and I'm like, come on. Then he comes back and he faces Roman Reigns. I'm like, dude, do you want me to cheer for you? Like, is there any way that you want me to be your fan? Because you're just not doing a good job at it.
Hey, bro, there's a few of them. Go get you one. I got the bandana one. I got the double pack with Ratchet Rhea and Dirty Dom, and then I got the Ultimate Figure WrestleMania 39 one.
I need another one because
I even got the Knuckle Crunchers one, baby.
Love that.
I got the Funko too. I got the Premier Dominic Mysterio. I don't got the baby fake because that shit's poo-poo.
So I have that one, and I have a Judgment Day shelf. So I have all the members of the Judgment Day on there, and that's where the Judgment Day Dom is. I need another
Judgment Day figures up top because
I've gotta upgrade because I have the babyface Dom up, with my main roster guys. I gotta take that one. Well, that's it. I just gotta replace it. I'll keep that. That'll be like the Dom rookie figure that I'll keep next to Bray, in the future. years from now or whatever. But I'm gonna definitely have to take that off the shelf to put a Dirty Dom on there because.
Since we're talking about figures and Harry's here, I'll go ahead. I got the Nexus CM Punk one for Christmas too.
It's a good one.
I got the Adam Cole Chase. Me and my son both got one. That was real cool. And then I got
boom
from the vault Bray Wyatt. I had a pretty good.
I gotta get that one too.
I had a pretty good figure Christmas. I'll tell you what I really thought when I saw the Ultimate figure during White Christmas. I thought it was the CM Punk one. That was my first mindset when I saw it. I was like, I'm getting that thing.
Oh,
and if anybody else ends up with it, I'll just beat the shit out of them and take it from
Yeah.
I was ready to go to war for it.
Put him to sleep.
It is what it is. I think she has a program with Becky at WrestleMania though, so it's not all bad.
I think that was one of my WrestleMania matches.
So I think that happens, just not without a title at this point. So
yeah.
I never bought a wrestling figure because I don't want to go. It's a big bro. This wall goes all the way to the ceiling, to the floor, all the way to the door. It's a rabbit hole. It is way worse than the X-Men one ever was. Me and Lou have been collecting X-Men figures together for a minute.
I love that.
My wrestling figure collection probably rivals your X-Men one at this point. But thank you, everybody. That's the show. We got a little bit off track there at the end, but that's fine. Y'all got to laugh at my expense, and it is what it is.
That's what the fun of the show is.
I ain't going to tolerate next week, though. Next week, are you going to do it on Wednesday next week, too?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, we're going to do it next week on Wednesday.
Oh, wait a minute. No. I will. I'm actually going to be in Florida next week. So
vacation. Have the time of your life, man. we gonna be off for the next week. And then I got
sorry about that, guys. I'll be in Florida.
In a few weeks, I'll be doing my trip too. So just keep up with this. I'm pretty good at letting y'all know what's happening. If the show gets canceled, I'll let you know. And if it's happening, I'll let you know what day and all that. So go ahead and follow that. And then you can go ahead and follow his too, because he retweets it in case you don't see mine.
Right.
And then you'll know what's happening. But yeah, let's take a break because we got Royal Rumble up. So the week after that's Royal Rumble, yes?
Yes.
So we will be back for the Royal Rumble show then.
Yeah.
We'll do a Royal Rumble prediction show because there's no way we're not.
Yeah, of course. Look, I get back. Look, worst case scenario, if the Royal Rumble was that, I think it's the first week of Friday. It's the first weekend in February.
Yeah, it is.
So we have plenty of time.
Yeah, and then my thing is the week after that, so we won't have a show post. Okay, Rumble, but that's fine. You got to come down from the fun that is the Royal Rumble after John Cena wins it. But that's gonna happen then, and until then, y'all can go back and watch our old stuff. I will be back Friday morning, so that's 2 days from now with Nick to do our Friday Nitro review. We're doing episode 5 this week, so you can go ahead and check that out in case y'all want to see more of this and make fun of me some more over some bullshit at Christmas. So yeah. Go ahead and join us over there. And again, follow me. I join other things when they ask me to. There's more people need to start asking me. I got a lot to say, and nobody wants to hear it. They just want to steal it from me.
Same here.
But thank you all, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Albert, enjoy your vacation. And
thank
don't forget everybody to just enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
Toodles, our new women's champion on SmackDown.